Hey everybody. So this is a really impromptu recording that I'm doing. I was thinking about different angles to go about doing this, but since this is the time that I have to do it, I figured I'm just going to do it this way. And also I figured doing the video like this, it forces people to just listen to what I'm saying. Right? So that's like another reason why I'm doing it like this. You don't get to see me. You don't get to, read into anything with me with facial expressions or whatever, or read too much into whatever it is. You're just hearing me. This decision isn't easy for me, especially like, first of all, everybody that's been following me since I first had a channel, since I first had this channel, you all know that this channel wasn't intentional. Like, I just one day decided to just start making videos because there was a couple of people on here that didn't believe that I was an actual person. So that was it. And that was basically how this started. There was no plan for it. I didn't have like a whole business plan for it. It was nothing like that. Nothing like that at all. Right. And I didn't think that it would get to what it did. I wasn't expecting to keep making videos, right? And I just did. And at the time when I started, it was the things that I was focusing more on were racial things, Latin unity type things, colorism type things and stuff like that. And essentially, while I talk about Latin things here and there, I would think that people can see it and even hear it in my energy, that my energy is not even the same as it was when I first started my channel. And I think that because of that, I don't even think I have the same people following me like that anymore. I've changed a lot. I've grown a lot. My views have changed on things a lot. Just overall, I know that I've changed a lot as a person. And whether there's people on here that want to believe that or not, that I'm not here to convince anybody of shit. I'm telling you what it is, and I'm telling you all how it is, and that's it. You're either going to believe it or you're not. One of the main reasons why I'll get into both, why I kind of am done talking about the colorism stuff, and why I'm, I'll talk about Latin things here and there, but, I'll tell you why my energy's not in it like that for that stuff either. As far as the colorism stuff goes, right? My perspective was always here in the States and what people that look like me go through growing up in an inner city environment around a bunch of people who, in most cases, like in my case, were darker than me, right? And not just where I grew up, it was also, where I went to school, right? So, I stood out. I stood out a lot, right? But even so, it wasn't just my experiences. It was friends that I had that had certain experiences. And when I came across channels like Light Skin Motivation, I was like, oh, wow, I went through somewhat similar things, and I had friends, I had biracial friends that went through similar experiences, and other Latin girls that I knew that went through similar experiences, right? Because essentially we're mixed people, right? Well, not all, because I know that there's light-skinned black people that are mixed. But basically, even with them, the experiences that we all had were very similar. So I was able to resonate with the message a lot. All right. I hope you guys don't mind, because it's so windy outside. I don't know yeah, and I think I don't know if decorations that we have outside flew or something, but it's so windy outside, and we have the whole front of the house decorate anyway. So, point is, I was able to, connect with people on here, and the people within, you know, that side of YouTube, and at that time, and I'm talking about like 2019, they all embraced me. Everybody was really, good with me being over there, for the most part. And then once the platform started to grow, there was people within those platforms that I noticed that didn't really like me being there, right? So there were some channels that didn't really like me being in those spaces, and then there was channels that accepted me, right? It just was what it was, and I was fine with that. And I wasn't here to be begging for acceptance from anybody. So I looked at it like, if there was channels that, I had the sense they didn't want me there, I wasn't going to be there, and I just didn't. Nothing against them. I was like, all right, if it's not for me, it's not for me. And I'm fine with that. And I was fine with that. I still am fine with that. But one of the main reasons why I stopped, and why I, what changed within me, was fine. We all have similar experiences, similar hardships. But when does it get to a point where, okay, we're talking about these things and people are expressing the things, and it's very similar stories over and over and over again? Okay, so then when does the healing come to play? When? I can't, like, I could talk about my experiences, and I have no problem with people talking about, their issues and what it is that they're going through. But to keep talking about the same things over and over again for me, and that what they're like being no solution, I get kind of like, all right, what is this? What is it? There's healing that has to take place. There's healing that has to take place with everybody, with all of us, myself included. And I think I'm getting there. Sometimes healing lasts a fucking lifetime, and that's what people don't want to hear, right? Some people heal within a matter of months. Some people heal within a matter of a couple of years. And with some people, it just lasts a very long time. It lasts their whole entire life. But that's fine. And that's what you want. You want to grow. You want to heal. What are your next moves? And now I know that people have different goals of what they want to do with their platforms. I think I've said this before. There's probably people that just want to, talk stuff and just to grow a platform, just to gain money, to earn money or whatever. I get it. That's fine. That's what they want to do. Then that's what they want to do. Same thing goes for the dark skin colorism, talking platforms, right? They want to grow talking about certain things and kind of, repetitive stories over and over again. And their platforms grow, and there's, it's just to earn a paycheck. Hey, it is what it is. I get it. These things cause very emotional responses in people, myself included, and a lot of other people. But it also, because of it you becoming so emotionally invested in these things, you can also stay stuck in these things, stay stuck in this mindset, and stay stuck feeling like there is no hope, because all you keep doing in a way is talking about the things that you went through, and similar, people who look similar to you, what they went through as well, and that you all had similar experiences. And it's like, okay, what next now? This is for me. Again, this is not aiming anything at anybody. This is just me personally and how I felt about it, and how I was like, all right, I for my own well-being, I can't keep doing this. This is just stupid. I get along with everybody outside. This is retarded. Like, for me, I'm like, this is it. And then also, like, where I live now, that's another factor into things. I don't even live in an urban environment anymore. I live in a freaking environment where now I stand out in a different way. You it's gonna sound funny, but like I'm not used to like being around people that it's gonna sound hilarious, that are whiter than me. You know what I'm saying? And it's the truth. It's the God honest truth. And it's not all of them, of course, but there's a lot like this. So basically this area, it has like there's a lot of people of German descent in this area. Okay. And these people have been living here for like generations. Okay. Like in this area. So, with people of German descent, in a lot of cases, they are light-haired, light-eyed people, very fair-skinned, way more fair-skinned than me. It makes me realize, oh, wow, I'm actually not as, as white as I think I am, because I'm comparing myself to where I grew up. So in my mind, like I was always comparing myself to that, right? So, and this is a different environment. This is just very different now. And in my world view is different. And now the things that I go through here, it's not that these things didn't happen when I was living where I used to live. And it's not that these things didn't happen in New York City. It was microaggressions that happen to me now. And it's not all the time, but I go through it. I literally go through the experiences with the Karens. And, it's usually very old, older women, and it's not, it doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen on occasion, but for the most part, the people out here are very nice. I can't really complain. But because of that, my view is different. And sometimes I feel like, I know that a lot of people within this space, this video is probably going to be long, so I'm forewarning people. I'm going to try not to make this video too long, but I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I want to say. All right. And I think that for a lot of people, like, I think getting out of, if you can get out of your environment, like if you can afford it, even if it's a little short vacation, like if you can't afford to move somewhere, like just get out of your environment, even if it's within this own, your own country. You can't, you don't have a passport or whatever. Try to get out of your environment. Try to experience being around other people, other groups of people. Even if it's within this country, you'll see how different it is. How different the experience is. Sometimes I feel like that's what people need, right? Because people that had a similar experience to me, where I grew up in an urban environment, and I always spoke about being a Gen Xer. A lot of us, we're spoken down on. We're frowned upon. People treat us like we're ghetto, that we don't know what we're talking about, or we're only just speaking from the urban experience. And it's like, well, everybody, when they're talking about their own experience, what the fuck do you expect? You're going to be speaking from your own lived experience. You're not going to be speaking from other people's lived experiences like that, right? Unless it's just people just don't lack common sense. And to me, I just feel like everybody's voice is needed, right? So people that grew up in different countries but have similar experiences with this type of topic, their voices are valid too. Everybody's voices are valid when it comes to this topic, not just ours, not just people living here in the States. All of our voices are valid when it comes to this stuff, right? No matter what environment, whether it's an urban environment, a rural environment, a suburban environment, foreign environment. Everybody's voice is valid with this stuff. But even with that being said, while everybody's voices are valid, again, it goes back to, okay, what are the next steps moving forward? Staying stuck in that energy is no good for anybody. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I wish everybody the best on here with this stuff. I really do. I wish you all the best. And, it could get rough. You put yourself out there, be ready for the backlash. It just is what it is. I had my real share of backlash when I first started. And, I survived. I survived. You're either gonna be able to deal with it and push through, or you're not, and just is what it is. It's kind of like it comes with the territory, basically. And now when it comes to like the Latin stuff, right? Now I'm going to kind of get into the Latin stuff. I'm past 15 minutes in, so I don't know if people are still listening to me or not. When it comes to the Latin stuff, to me, this is basically what grows in this space are the Afro-Latin people. Point blank, period. So I guess that is the experience that people want to hear. People want to hear the Afro-Latin experience. So that's what's growing on here. All right? Regardless of what environments they come from. It's the Afro-Latin experience that dominates. So for people like me, when we're talking about things, I'm kind of like, it's not so much that I'm a minority out there, you know what I mean? To an extent I can kind of be, right? Because of the environment that I grew up in, plus kind of like looking the way that I do. But there are other people like me on here, right? But they are just not within that Latin space. They might eventually get there. It wouldn't surprise me. But I don't fit there either. I don't. And a lot of that has to do with just my worldview, how I see things, right? And I would say within the Latin side of YouTube, there's a good amount of people who are from New York City like me, different urban parts of the United States. There's that. And then there's people that grew up in suburban environments. That is a very different lifestyle than what I lived, right? And sometimes I would even say, especially for the Latin women, that tends to be an experience that people want to hear about. Also, is Latin women, but it's Latin women that grew up in a suburban environment, grew up in a two-parent household. That grew up with every single thing that they needed, which is the minority. When you look at the statistics of Latin people who are married, it's not very high. All right? Or Latin people that grew up in well-to-do households with two parents that were making good money, that were, let's say, professionals. That's also a very low minority of people. But that's what people want to hear, I guess. Those are the experiences that I think that people want to hear. Whereas in that case, I would be the majority because we grew up poor, right? So it's different. But I grew up poor, but because I'm whiter looking, right? It doesn't fit what people want to hear. People want to hear the exact opposite of what I am. Basically, darker skinned Latin women growing up in a suburban environment or a well-to-do environment. And I'm pretty much the exact opposite. I've always been honest with how I grew up. I don't share everything with how I grew up, what I went through growing up. I've shared a good amount, I think. But even my experiences are just, I think that this is not stuff that people want to hear. Even when I talk about like Latin people going through certain things systemically, right? Even when I speak about things like that, people don't want to hear it. I think people want to hear stuff that's fun, stuff that's funny, stuff that would be deemed as more clout chasing, right? I don't do that. I don't. So then what am I doing then? And maybe I'll still keep talking about certain things, but I think I'm getting to a point where I'm just growing out of all of it. I'm growing out of all of it. And I'm asking myself, is it worth it? One of the main reasons why I kept a lot of these things up is for my kids. Even if there's videos where they might listen to it and they might be like, man, you were so, damn, or mom, you were wrong. Like, why would you say this? And why would you do that? Why would you, like, look, I said what I said at the time and I own it. Even if I was wrong, even if people disagreed with me, I own it and that's it. That's it. I have no problems admitting when I'm wrong. That's another thing that people don't like on here. People just want you to fight. They just want to hear like people just want to hear like these narcissistic type people that just do nothing but think that they're right 100% of the time. And they can never admit to their wrongs, and they're just the greatest thing on the planet Earth. And like, that's not me. That's not me. I'm going to say shit that's going to be fucking wrong sometimes. I'm going to do things that are going to be wrong. And I'm going to change. And if you're not changing as a person, what are you doing? What are you doing? Do you really want to be the same person that you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago? Do you want to be that same person in another 5 to 10 years from now? I don't. I sure as hell don't. And the other thing is regardless of what I say, the last thing that I would want is for anybody to think that just the fact that there's people out that there's people who are so fucking manipulative out here, that have tried to twist and just contort everything I fucking say to make it seem like I hate any group of people. I don't hate anybody. I'm not gonna lie. If there's certain groups of people on here that have went after me, I might say some fucked up shit. I might not respond in the most mature way. Out of anger, I might. Hell, you think I haven't heard that there was times that there was live streams and people would just berating Puerto Ricans from New York? Totally berating. Nobody saying anything. People just letting it rock. Nobody gave a fuck. And yeah, I'm cursing. And yeah, I'm in my masculine energy again. All right, fine. Maybe I'm a man. Nobody cared. Heaven forbid I did any. I would never do anything like that. I would never let that freaking happen on my channel ever. Regardless of what I went through with certain Latin groups. I stay away because of things like that. I stay away from streams and stuff like that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want any part of it. I don't want it. I don't want to be involved in it. Like a few days ago, I went into Smile's live stream because I was told that Anon and Light Skin Motivation was going to be on there, so I made it a point. I went out of my way. I asked my husband, I'm like, please, watch the baby. I'm going to put I put my daughter to sleep. I eventually put my son to sleep, and I was like, please keep an eye on him if he wakes up. Eventually, I ended up having to get off anyway because he did end up waking up on me again after he fell asleep. But I had to make a real effort just to join that, just to be in the chat. And normally I don't like doing things like that. Even as somebody, I'm an introvert. Even within being people might find this weird, but even being inside of a chat like that, like a live stream chat, that's very similar to just being in a group of people, physically being in like a room with a bunch of people talking. It's the same thing. It's the same energy for me. Physically, we might not be there like next to each other, but the energy is still very the same. It's still a bunch of energies in one space. And for me, that's a lot as somebody who is an introvert. According to the Myers-Briggs test, I am 100% when it comes to the introversion part. 100%. I am a straight up introvert. So I'm really not somebody that likes getting into live streams and stuff like that anyway. And if I do that, for me, that's something that has to be planned. If anybody I changed up my email. So if people want to contact me about anything, you can go right ahead. If people ever really wanted to do like a stream with me, I feel like every time I've done collabs, it's for a lot of times the things don't really work out for me well. But depending, maybe I'll do something, or if people want to tell me something, go right ahead. And maybe I will do a live stream with somebody if you guys want, I guess, but it's something that has to be very planned for me. I'm not one of these people that wants to get into the live stream and then have 20 other people out of nowhere just come into the live stream to want to debate me out of nowhere. And I'm like, whoa, what the hell is this? I don't want that. I don't. And I don't like it either. There's no fairness in that either. Because I've heard things like that happen on live streams before. When somebody comes, they invite somebody on, then all of a sudden there's 20 other people on there. Yeah, you're in here now. Yeah, we're all going to gang up on you. And get the fuck out of here. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I know that I'm talking about different things right now, and I'm already almost a half an hour in. So people are either going to stay listening to this or people are not going to stay listening to this. As far as this channel goes, I'll still do certain things. I'll still talk about certain things or whatever. I want to say a couple of weeks ago, I think on one of Caesar's videos, I had wrote something with regards to, I had made a comment basically saying something to the degree of, that my heart is in it, but my mind isn't. Now I just kind of feel like neither is there. I feel like neither one is there. I don't feel it anymore. I feel like I've grown out of it. Especially when politics really get involved in it. It's crazy because people talk about how they don't want things to get political, but then people go right ahead and get political. The minute things get political, the divide comes in. All of the similarities of experiences, the traumatizing things that people went through that were all similar, all of that goes right out the fucking window the minute that people start bringing in their politics. Then the division comes in. The walls go up, the division comes in. This is what it is. That's just exactly what's going to happen. Once those topics are brought up, that's exactly what's going to happen. People are going to have their resentments. People are going to start looking at each other funny. Then the minute a falling out happens, oh, well, we knew that happened because this person was more of a liberal or this person was more of a conservative. So, in the end, they were stupid and da-da-da-da. And that's when all those talking points are going to come out the minute a disagreement happens. And what is it all for? to cause confusion, to cause aggravation, to just keep on talking in circles and not getting to a resolution. I'll give it to Caesar. He does have a petition, and that's cool. At least he has a petition, and that is leading to something. There's an end goal there. So, and that's cool. Well, this video is 30 minutes in. I don't know if people sat through the whole 30 minutes. I was actually supposed to be taking a nap, giving myself a break right now. And instead of giving a break, I decided to talk. I wish everybody the best on here. I really do. When I'm talking about these things, and this is with all sides. It's not just within the light skin sector of YouTube, also with the Latin side of YouTube. My thing is, I hope people grow. I hope people change. Whatever that means. What's the point of life if you're not fucking growing and changing? Evolving. And I hope that everybody can do that in some way, shape, or form. I hope that at least people can find a way to do that for themselves. Because staying stagnant is no good for anybody. All right. I'm going to go for now. And I guess I'll see you all in my next video, whenever that is. And if I don't upload anything soon, then I wish you all happy holidays, happy new year, and I wish you all the best. Take care, guys. Bye.